We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for the truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution at an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you're doing. It's impactful. It's life-changing. And I thank you for being here with me. And it means more than you realize, as well as to the listeners. So, allow me to introduce some of my favorite people. First, we have Deb and RJ DeRusse. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September. They're also owners and managers of the Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings podcast, and the YouTube channel, and a Mystical Awakenings metaphysical store in Houghton Lake. Next, we have Deb Cobble, and she was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She is co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground, and hosts the Midwest Paratalk podcast with co-founder Greg Cable. And then we have Dana Stricker. She is a born psychic medium, and she has been reading professionally since the age of 15. While she excels in her psychic and mediumship ability, Dana is also known for her exceptional skills in remote readings. She's also known and very well established medical intuitive. In addition to reading professionally worldwide, Dana has worked nationwide on numerous missing person cases. With the amazing panel that we have tonight, I know that anything is possible, and we're going to get deep down in discovery and answers to what's really going on out there. This show is all about transmutating the light from the dark and to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across amazing cases with some amazing clients. And it's my passion to work with them and to help them have a better understanding of the contact they've had, whether they were taken, have had contact in the physical realm, or through a dream state. I'm grateful that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the Voices of Contact. And this is the place to be, because the panel breaks down the experiences, providing powerful feedback. I love it because all of the listeners get to connect and learn, and the person I regressed walks away even more immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their contact. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. How are you guys?
Good. Good.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Mary. Hi, Deb.
It's good to see everyone.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Was it a game show where everybody was in a square?
Hollywood
Hollywood Squares. Iconic
people here.
Who has the first question?
I go to Mary for 100.
Yeah. I loved Paul Lynn. And
did
Charles Nelson Riley. Oh my God, those were my two
Yes.
favorite. They were hysterical.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find that to watch later on.
Showing your age.
Yeah, I just turned 66 yesterday.
Even
That's
though I'm
hard
the
to
oldest.
Yeah, I know.
I'm older than you, Deb, because I will turn 67 in May.
Oh,
I'll be 95 in September.
95.
Oh,
I robbed the
Or
cradle.
59. 95.
See,
Puppy.
when I was younger, I used to lie about my age in the upward direction so I could get away with things.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I lie about it still in the upward direction. That way, when people say, "Damn, you look good," you know?
I don't think either one of you look the age that you're telling me you are. And I'm
Yeah,
not
we
just
don't
saying
act
that
it
to be
either.
kind to you.
Aw,
Thank you.
thank you. We love you.
I think I look pretty damn good for 95.
I think so
Yes,
too.
you do.
Body like a raisin and a plump face.
That's how I roll. Hey, fat's a preservative.
Exactly. That's what I keep saying. I don't want to, lose weight and get thin like I was, obsessed with when I was
That's
younger.
a good
because
reason not to
we
even
need
try.
that fat
Ozempic
plump up
face
the
is
root.
what they call it, I think. I don't want that. Oh, sorry,
Not
Mary.
Sorry,
everybody,
Mary.
not everybody has Ozempic face.
Bless Mary. You're so patient with us.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah,
so
That's what I
crazy.
do. I am patient.
You are.
I'll go to a store and I'll wait for somebody for 5 minutes to get out of my way, just because I know they're in their own little world trying to figure something out. Can't help it. No reason to hurry.
No, that's true.
So
That's true. Good for you. We love that you're that way. And you put up with us.
I love putting up with you guys.
That's why we make a good
She's
team,
going to
right?
put us all in the home in a while here.
Yeah. The old folks' home or the
Oh, yeah.
other home?
Yeah. Both.
The other home?
Yeah, the
Oh,
other
you know.
home.
We used to call it the roundhouse here because at the hospital, that part of the hospital was round.
You're going to the roundhouse, Mom.
Exactly.
Round and round.
Did you
It
just
would
sing
be good.
Rat Round and Round from
I did
19?
not. I met him too.
Pom-pom routine to that in high school.
I partied with that guy.
What?
I did, the lead singer.
The lead singer dude?
Yeah, a little short
Did
guy.
he die?
I don't know, but the way we
I think
partied,
he
he might have back in the day.
I might be wrong, but I think he did.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
Stephen-
confuse him now, being
Stephen
elderly. and
Percy.
whatnot. Yes. Stop partying with people from my young adulthood, Katie. Like, tell me these things now. I could have been much cooler in school, as you told me then.
He kept coming in our room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll tell you off air.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, Mary, what do you got for us, hon?
All right. So for tonight's show is a gentleman who he regressed before, and in that regression, he found himself in an experience where he was on a craft with several different type of species, but he was a lion type species. So he wanted to go back to that experience, but back up time and see if there's any other previous experiences that he had as that lion being that led up to where he was. So that's where the first clip comes in, is we take him back to that experience and then move him to a previous one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's drift and float away from that scene. We are going to drift and float away from that scene, and we are going to move to the time where you saw yourself as a lion being with armor. And on the count of 3, we're going to be there, and we're going to move to a significant event that happened previous to that experience. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at an event as that lion being that's previous to when the last time we did regression. And you're there now. What's happening around you?
Well, I feel like I'm in that battle gear on some kind of planet.
What does it look like?
I'm kind of overlooking the scene. It's not super clear, but I kind of feel like I'm on a. I feel like I get the impression of snow, like it's a snowy day. There's some open fields.
What's happening around you?
I don't know. I feel like I can see like bodies in the distance, like I'm like on a high point overlooking some kind of fighting, but it's or some like like almost like armies, but I can't get a distinct picture.
Well, let's move you closer, knowing that you're just going to be an observer, that there's no way that you will be harmed. And on the count of 3, you're going to be moved closer and be able to see clearly. 1, be able to
I knew it.
Cut it off right at the perfect moment.
Got to keep the suspense, right?
You've gotten way too good at this.
I get like
I
this,
like
and I'm
it.
like, and then it's us again, and I'm like,
Yeah.
It's the one kind of drama I like.
Did he say something about an army?
It sounds like it because
Yeah,
when he was on the craft, he had armor already, and so going back, he's standing on this cliff and he's looking down, and he sees fighting amongst groups, and he's not quite sure at that point of exactly what's happening.
Well, I don't know if you've ever guys seen all this information out there about the Lyran reptilian wars, but maybe he's remembering that. But they fought for a very long time, apparently in space, in their planets, and But there's all kinds of these videos on them, and what happened, and I can't tell if it's true or not, but there's a lot of information out there about that they had a definitely Lyran reptilian war going on for a very long time, and that when they settled it, they actually had a reptilian marrying a Lyran, and for peace. But that information's out there if anybody's read it. Yeah. Pretty cool. I mean, not really, but reptilians almost took over the Lyran, so.
I don't ever recall hearing about lions.
Yeah,
What's a lion one?
they're Lyrans. They're
Oh,
called the
Lyran. I thought they were saying lion, and I'm like,
No, the
hold up.
Lyrans, yeah.
Okay, it must have been my hearing.
Well, they are
A feline
cat-like.
race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're feline.
Okay, so I'm not completely out of my mind then. I did
Yes, you
pick
are.
it the right. Okay. Just checking. I'm like, lion, that would be a cool one to show up.
Mhm.
Lion. And here it is, Lyran.
Yeah, the Lyran
Yeah.
race.
You see them quite a bit in the old stuff. They're certainly they were around quite a bit, but people don't put that together.
The Lyran sleeps tonight.
Well, they may have been responsible for destroying the reptilian dinosaur thing on this
Okay.
planet because they were fighting and
Mhm.
and they started the mammal program, more mammals. So
Mhm.
after the dinosaurs were gone,
Egypt had a lot of hieroglyphs
yeah.
and stuff with them.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
If you
Mary,
think about it.
when you go back and review this, I just saw something walk behind you. And I thought at first it was a person.
What
but
is
it was
with you? The
only-
thing's working.
Did you? But it was only a part of a person, and it it was kind of white, like maybe camera blown out a little bit, is what I first thought. So I waited for him to get behind your head and come out the other side, and he never reappeared.
Oh,
So
That's
Every
kinda creepy.
time
Yeah,
you're
I know
on
it's like
here,
all
there's-
like bright white behind me.
yeah, but I saw somebody or something. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Probably
So
a Lyran.
check it out when you review your video. Just saying. Sorry.
Big,
distraction.
tall Lyran.
and you know, Lyrans eventually interbred with more human type people, and you get more of the human looking Lyran. So that's why they say people are so like Dana, like we're attached to the feline
Yeah,
species
they
on this
rule
planet.
us.
Yeah,
I am attached to felines pretty strongly.
yeah.
I'm the bird lady around here.
Yeah.
I am, for real. I mean, I've had cockatoos and Amazons and cockatiels and just, parrots and finches and just all kind of birds all my life. I just don't have them here anymore because this place gets blown down a lot.
Well, they're
Lord,
evident
yeah.
in Egypt, the birds. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, everybody. Like I say, I always thought, well, how does that? Well, every species tries to evolve to its highest self, and to do that, I think you have to have 2 legs and 2 arms and fingers and appendages. But you can look like a cat. You can look like a bird. You can look like a whatever.
That's my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dana is a cat.
I have to be careful how I do those hands.
Could be like this. Dana.
I'm the inappropriate Lyran.
Porno Lyran.
Nah, I think we need to slow it down.
Right, right.
So yeah, he's obviously talking about a feline race that he was a part of. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on the snow on this planet. I'm wondering, is it a planet that's cold all the time? Is it like Earth and has seasons? Where are we?
Yeah.
So I hope that comes out a little more.
He seems often in his regressions to go to places that are snow. So I almost wonder if all his regressions are correlating with like a certain planet. It'll be either in this week's show, but I believe it's next week's show. He mentions like the moon.
And
So
we
maybe
have,
it's something like that.
and we have 2 felines on this planet that live in the snow: the Siberian tiger and the snow leopard. So it's not that
Do
they can't-
Lyrans have fur or do they have skin? Because I mean, if a species is constantly in a cold environment, I would
fur, yeah.
assume
They have-
evolve with the fur coat.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I always wondered about humans. You know, when everybody else around us had fur during the Ice Age, how come we had skin? Where did that come from?
Well, because-
That doesn't make sense evolutionarily.
We're not
Or how
very
you say it.
smart.
Well, I mean, that's why we had to have fire. But yeah, I mean, up to the Homo sapien, which I believe it was created through the extraterrestrials. But we had Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon and stuff here that was already here. And before the Ice Age, this place was, it wasn't cold. And but when the Ice Age came around, that put a little damper on things.
So the Lyrans got the boots with the fur, if you will.
Yeah, and I'll send you guys some pictures later on our site and show you some pictures of Lyrans. Some pretty cool
Interesting.
ones. Yeah,
All right, what
they're
else?
very, very beautiful, and very
looking at
big, and
the rug out from underneath me.
they're very muscular and very big and very.
Wow.
Yeah, they are. You didn't want to mess with them, but
See, she
Yeah.
is part Lyran. No wonder you don't like the mantis. Oh
You
no,
don't
that's
like
not
what?
who they were at war.
the reptilians were a little bigger.
with.
It's the mantis that I don't like.
Yeah.
Cats don't like insects.
They eat them.
I don't know.
Elephant.
Mine used to love
They
flies.
chitter at them. Chitter, chitter, chitter.
I used to
They're the
love
ones that
flies.
get 'em.
Skeeter loved flies. I could spend
yeah,
$1 million
yeah.
on cat toys, but he'd
Yeah,
be
the-
A
preoccupied
cat
with a
named
fly.
Skeeter, which is an insect, going after another insect.
I'm sorry. We named him that because he was a pest when he was a baby.
Now he's looking over a cliff, and we're at a war going on, right?
Yeah, so in this next clip, we start to move him closer to the fighting scene.
Oh wow.
Okay, so on the count of 3, we're going to move to the answer of why you're running. 1, 2, 3. Why are you running?
Feels like I got disconnected from my group, and I'm looking for them, like my battalion or squad.
And why are you here on this planet as a squad?
At this point, I really don't know. I see myself like clicking some kind of communicator on my arm to try and get in contact with my team. I'm wondering if they're okay or not.
Were they the ones fighting?
I feel like there was fighting. I don't know who.
And so what happens next?
I feel like I'm getting some kind of a download from a satellite or the ship of in a visual in front of me of where to go to find them.
Okay.
So they might be hurt.
So you've gotten the download, and now you're going to go find them. And on the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go back.
See, you left behind. Oh no!
So it's definitely an army in some shape or form because he's got all this equipment and all these little, doodads, whatever you would call them, to give him pinpoints of where to find his group.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, he's not part of the reptilians. I wouldn't think he is, since he was a lion.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to come hear this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Showed up. I'm like, I figured you'd show up because they were talking about cats of some description. And I was right. Here he is. I didn't call him. He just came in.
So maybe cats are star seeds. Demanding star seeds.
He's a good boy.
Well, they were very revered by the Egyptians, that's for sure.
They protected. Weren't they known to protect them from bad things?
Yeah.
So they were very revered. Yeah.
And they were protected. If you mess with one, you get thrown in the
right
slammer.
As it still should be.
So, are we going to be able to get into exactly who they're fighting?
Yeah.
In the next clip, I do believe it'll be either this clip or the next clip that he does find the group, and he notices that his group is down, but there's other from the other side there, and he does describe what they look like.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, he's a lifelong experiencer. So a lot of this that he's remembering has probably been right there all of his life.
Sure.
So it's probably coming back fairly easily.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is
Well, I won't say why, but I just want to know who they are.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Like you want to know who's in that particular time, who was battling who, like,
Hmm. Yeah.
and why, and
Mhm.
etc.
Right. Yeah. And this is going back in time. So when he has, it's interesting that he saw himself as a lion and then goes back
Mm-hmm.
instead of the other way around.
Right.
Going through that and then seeing himself as a lion. But
So
It almost feels like a past life thing. But I get where he's coming from. Like, so he has that one experience and he just wants to see, if there's more to it and exactly why he was wearing that armor.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that regression, and we definitely wanted to know more. So this is, going to give us some answers. And I hope that our audience, many of our people listen every week, and I hope they remember this one.
So if you buy into the fact that the lions were called the builder race, if you buy into that fact that they started the mammal program here after the dinosaurs, and they really maybe had something to do with wiping out the dinosaurs. If you go back and Google when that giant meteor hit and wiped out the dinosaurs, then you go back to when maybe the Lyran team here and started the program, which was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Million years, maybe?
So he's really old.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and the past regressions, it was stated that he's lived many lifetimes as different species.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Seemed to me.
yeah.
So this is like it's not an experience that he had now in this life. He's remembering another lifetime.
Correct. Yeah. That's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's remembering himself as that particular species.
Yeah.
Is this memory connected to an experience in this lifetime somehow? I mean, something happened?
Is. It's actually how, like, every time we take a step further, it gets a little bit closer. But if I remember correctly, this one, the original, and don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure was from an experience when he was in his upstairs bedroom and he looked out his window and he saw a big handprint that was on his window. And so he wanted to explore what that handprint was from. And so when we took him into that experience, that's when he connected to the Lyran race.
Wow. Handprint. I've got photographs of some giant handprints that have been on my front storm door for 7 years. I'll have to send them to you. We've tried everything to get them off, but every time the window steams up, with temperature changes and whatnot, they reappear.
Send them to Dana too. Dana wants to see those.
Yeah, I'll send them to you. So, yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
Now I'm be looking for handprints everywhere.
Well, if you watch Expedition Bigfoot, the last episode they had a gigantic handprint
on a window
that just happened that night when he was out, and they've got it all, dusted and everything. Man, it's like twice the size of a human hand.
Gee, I wonder who that was.
Yeah,
there's a couple options there.
Yeah. Mr. Squatch, or
Mr. Squatch.
Mr. Squatch or Mr. Dogman.
It could be Miss Squatch.
Yeah, it could be Miss Squatch. Yeah.
It could be some sort of ET being as well.
Yeah. You never know. But it's there, and
is that what Sasquatch is?
It wasn't no joke. It was right there on the window.
All right. So for this next clip, this is where he finds his group, and he can really tell that they're down and hurt, and it talks about the steps he starts to take to get them help.
Okay.
What's happening around you?
It looks like they're down. They're hurt. I see one comrade in armor in front of me that's in the snow. I'm sending a message for him to be picked up. I'm looking around to make sure it's safe, that there's no other aggressors at this point.
Who are you fighting?
Yeah, I still don't know who they are.
Is there anybody there from your squad, or there that's injured that's not from your squad?
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's some other being that was hurt or killed nearby in the snow.
What do they look like?
Dark skin, 2 eyes, and nose and mouth, but it's like almost like somewhat of like a snout, teeth, kind of almost more wolf-like a little bit, wolf-like kind of face, hairy, brown.
So what happens next?
So I
So-
think it could be a dog man.
Well, I mean,
That sounds like one.
if you think about it, like I was telling earlier, that if everything evolves to the best physical a version of itself, why can't a wolf? And then we've got lyrans, we've felines, so it's funny because I used to listen to a lot of the secret space program people that claimed they were on there, and one guy said he had went to a planet where they were attacked by a bunch of wolf hominids, and out of nowhere. So they were pretty relentless, but because they're part animal and probably a lot more agile than a human.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so why not? And we've always had the Dogman story here. We've always had the werewolf story here. So
Right, and there's been a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but we've heard stories of Dogman and Sasquatch and all of them being interdimensional beings, talking telepathically, having the ability to cloak, be in and out of our dimension.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. So, they're like starseeds, right? Just not in human form. They're here, but they're not.
I saw, and this, my mother and I have watched it at least 6 times because it's like the scariest thing I've seen on paranormal TV. It was a story where these husband and wife, I think they had just bought a pretty remote house. I can't remember where. I want to say maybe Texas. I can't remember, but they were away from lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
And one night they were sitting out on the porch having coffee, and they looked, and there was this glow in the woods. And the story that happens after that is absolutely horrifying, and it was bipedal wolf beings.
yeah.
And they were very threatening, and it's a terrifying story. And when I remember what show it was on, I'll forward it to you guys. I'm not saying it was TV, but hearing what you're talking about with these wolf type, they were wolves.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not going to say obviously, but probably ETs, because there was the whole light thing going on first.
Right.
And the only way they could stay away from them was to stay within the light area. Like they had to be under a light or have a light. Otherwise, they were coming for them, and they were huge.
Yeah.
They were walking out on I think they were on the roof. They were on the porch. They were like everywhere. It wouldn't have taken much for them to punch a hole in, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish I could remember. I'll find out and remember because it's worth a watch, even if you're,
Yeah.
you know, because
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
be a
So,
little.
Was
But
this
it was the
supposed to
actual
be?
people were talking about it, and the reason I remember it so well because I'm pretty sure the lady's name was Dana. That and it's seriously, I have never been. I don't get scared of that stuff. That scared me because they were really. It felt very sincere, and I can't even imagine being in that position.
So
at
this
all.
wasn't a scary movie. It was something
No,
like
this was like one of those.
paranormal caught on camera or something.
No, it wasn't one of those.
The
It was,
documentary. Yeah.
I don't remember. There's so many that I watched, but
But
that
something
one, I
that
mean,
was
every time
supposed
my
to
mom
be
and I are
true.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we watching this again? It scares the crap out of both of us. But there we are. It's
Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers are supposed to be wolf-like too, right?
And bipedal.
And bipedal. Yeah.
do they come from a light out in the woods?
No, I'm not saying that. Well, you know, it's weird because if you read these old books that this guy went around Michigan and interviewed some of the Native Americans here on about skinwalkers and bear walkers, they say they had an orb, a light.
Oh, okay. I don't think they actually saw what the light was coming from,
Right.
but it was enough because they were in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
They were like, what is that?
Well, that tells me that they're probably either extraterrestrial or interdimensional or something. You know, they got something going on there. With these orbs around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Anyway,
yeah, send that to us.
Interrupt, but there I go again. But I'll figure it out and send you guys what
Okay.
it was, what
Cool.
show it was, so you can
Yeah.
see it. 'Cause
It'll
It
be
sounds
interesting to
familiar.
see if
yeah,
this is what he's dealing with.
right. Maybe. You know, I don't know. It's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cat and dogs, you know, here we go.
Never thought of that.
All right. So for this next one, he starts having his squad members come and get picked up as he continues to look for more. So it describes how, you know, how a drone comes to pick up the wounded troops.
Well, I like pick him up, this being up, to see if he's alive.
Is he alive?
He doesn't seem to be. I pick him up pretty easily. I throw him back at the ground. I feel that looks like there's some kind of a small drone that comes down and picks up the wounded comrade, almost like with a tractor beam, just kind of levitates him up back to wherever, the ship or the base.
And then what happens?
I don't know, some reason I feel like it's weird, like either things are jammed or whatever. I'm trying to locate others. I don't know what happened. We were overrun, or I don't know. I feel like I'm still looking for others.
Okay, so we're going to drift and float away from that scene. We're drifting and floating away from that scene, and we're going to move to the experience where you were in the military and you were in the training room. And on the count of 3, we're going to move there, and then we're going to move back to how you started in that military. I'm going to do that on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
And we're back.
Nice graphic.
That's just for you.
I figured.
Ooh. I can't help but feel really empathic with him.
Yeah, there's
With
something
all
with
of
him.
this, it's like my heart is just breaking for him. Like he needs these answers. So I'm really hoping as this unwinds, he's getting the answers that he needs to
Mhm.
get.
Yeah, because little by little he gets a little bit more piece of the puzzle as
Mhm.
to why he's experiencing these things and realizing that there's many lifetimes lived with different species, which connects to, you know, what we're going to go into in the next clip, which will lead into next week's episode, where in this lifetime he had an experience where all of a sudden he had a vision of seeing himself, manning, military equipment and being on a different planet and seeing a craft crash. So it's really I'm thinking he's being shown a correlation between, like, okay, so every lifetime this is your mission in some shape or form.
Yeah, no matter
It's all
what you come
connected.
back as
Yep.
in physical form. Yeah, I thought it was cute when he picked the being up and then threw it back to the ground.
Just wanted to see if he could lift him. How heavy was he?
Yeah,
How tough am I?
right.
Uh
And it
huh.
didn't seem like he was very happy.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
Or
oh,
he was that strong.
right.
Very true.
Yeah, and who knows what the size difference was.
Well, like a gray would be like picking up a dart and throwing it, compared to like a Lyran or a wolfman or dogman or whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, if
Yeah.
you think about the muscle difference or the height or whatever, poor
Yeah.
little grays would be like,
Right.
Pick up two of them.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's just so many pieces I want to put together. And I
That
don't
we're
want to get
probably
too far
never
ahead of.
ever going to understand, and we're probably wrong about some of them. So
Mhm.
they're probably laughing at us, which
Yeah.
is the beeping we hear every time.
So we don't even know. We don't really know if he is a Lyran in this.
I know, but I'm just saying that.
Well, I'm just.
Well, I mean, that's the only reference point we can go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll get those pictures, you guys. You tell me what you think. So,
I do believe, though, when he goes back and he describes what he's seen, he describes it as Lyran.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And that, like RJ said, it's a cat and dog thing, so that makes it even a little more interesting.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm. And it would be interesting too to know the time frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when they all made friends, that's how the cat dog man came around. You ever see that cartoon? Cat dog. It's
Cat
cat
dog?
dog.
No.
So who knows? Maybe this is just a reflection of how, Lyrans may have evolved into Bigfoot, and the wolf may have evolved into Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
It's all connected.
Right.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
But feline and primate are very different animals.
That they
Well,
are.
Well, I think,
Animals.
yeah.
I guess I'm thinking like a human, so I'm thinking our planet. Never mind.
I have a theory that Bigfoot is a combination of whatever hominid was here and the Anunnaki were it's all. And the experiment that they let them go and they didn't kill them all, but they made us. We were a lot more smaller and docile and did their work. So
So we're the work ants.
but we're wise enough, hopefully.
All right. So for this very last clip, this is where he finds himself not as a young child, but like a younger man, like teenager times, and he's sitting in an office. He doesn't know how he got there, and then all of a sudden, like a military type officer walks into the room.
Ooh.
and you're there now. How did you get started in that military?
I feel like I'm younger, like early teens, maybe, I'm not sure, like in a room somewhere.
Look around and describe it for me.
It's very nondescript room, office room, kind of locked in at a table. I don't know why I'm there.
Are you alone or is somebody there with you?
I'm alone right now, like sitting here, like isolated.
And so what happens next?
I feel like somebody comes in the room, like some kind of officer. It's like impressive, kind of like almost feel like he's putting on a show, but like, you've been recruited for the secret, military, trying to, it's all very vague, but I feel like that's what's going on, like making you want to join up, like you're special, we need your talents, there's the special program, blah, 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 get you to voluntarily sign up, explaining that you'll be brought back to your regular life after your tour, as if it never happened.
Is this military human or the other species?
This is the one where it progresses into an experience he had in this lifetime. And so he wanted to go to that experience. So the initial experience was he remembered being in a car and being a teenager, and he was riding in the back seat with his friends, and he looked out the window and he saw like a craft, and then he had a vision of himself on a different type of craft chasing after that one. And so when he went into the regression, he had shot down that craft. Okay. And he went into, being in the military and then training exercises. So he wanted to go back to that experience itself and then go back to how he got into that program.
But this is as a human.
Yeah, because he was a human, but he was on different planets, okay, fighting battles.
Okay.
And this is probably going to get into the SSP program, right? Secret Space Program, which is called the Solar Warden program. Which many have claimed that they've been in. So,
mercy sakes.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, sounds like typical military that they want you to, they want you to join because.
Well, it sounds like he had to agree to it, that they can't take you if you don't.
Yeah.
Agree, so they kind of make it look pretty and make you want to.
Now, if we are talking about the secret space program, some people started very young. And it was their parents agreeing to let their children because they had special abilities. So, yeah.
It sounds like the typical type of military, though, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that could be any
kids.
military.
We need you. You're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of talent. We need you. So
You're so special.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to help you.
And being a young kid, that goes to your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when he said he was younger, I instantly saw 14. And then he said young teenager. So
Yeah.
wow, it's so young to be doing something like that.
now I had mentioned this on other shows that the mammalian species, if that's the proper way to say it, like us, are more warlike beings, and that other species hire us to do their fighting out there. So that could be what part of this secret space program is. That we're fighting for the Greys, and we're fighting for the boots on the ground type fighting in other
Right.
places. Something about those mammals, man. They just like to,
Well, I hope that we're evolving past that.
Well, yeah.
Just my,
But we get technology from it. That's the deal. There's that's why we do it. That's why the secret space program does this. Part of the reason.
and the rest of us be very quiet.
I am going to stay completely silent.
Well, I mean, I'm just repeating stuff that I've heard, So
No, I know. I'm not being rude to you.
no. I'm just
I'm not
saying
being
that.
rude. I'm just being quiet.
I mean, I don't want people to think, I'm right or wrong. I just want people to know that this is what I've heard other
Right.
people
Well,
talking about.
that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the gist of it. It's just-
Yeah. It's weird because Mary, when people move behind you, you notice that, Deb. And
Yeah, I saw a man earlier.
they move like in a
They're
like
like,
you're here, then you're like there, and it's weird.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
out, Mary.
I've seen a few.
They're not
But the one I was watching, he started off, and when he got
like
behind
right
her
in the
head,
room.
he
right in
never
the
got
room.
to the other side. So I don't
It's
know.
like
where
a
he went.
portal.
I know, right?
Right at work. You can't escape anything, can you? Even at her real world job, she-
Nope, you can't
She's in a-
escape anything.
in a portal somewhere.
Well, that was interesting for sure.
Yeah, it sure was. But my brain is like, now we've got, cats and dogs and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Yeah, and he did discuss this or go over some of this in a previous regression, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I
Still
remember we
can't get
did
the
it.
one about the holographic. Was it bears? Or was it lions again?
I think it was a cat, a feline or something.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
panther. Yep.
Yeah, panther. Yeah.
So a cat is a favorite incarnation of them.
Yeah.
Which is
The Lyrans, yeah,
Lyrans,
Lyrans,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to be able to turn into a big cat.
Maybe you do, Dana.
At night
Yeah.
when the moon is full.
Where do we go when we fall
I think that's-
asleep?
I think that's werewolves.
Right. Well,
Yeah, I sleep in front of a fireplace. Everybody thinks I'm passed out. I'm not.
well, we know that, cats are nocturnal. And when we go to bed, we just dealt with one this past weekend. They're like, yay, I'm going to need you. And I'm going to.
My cats are so trained, they don't do hardly anything nocturnally anymore. He's sleeping now. He'll get up and eat. He'll come back up probably around 10 and he will sleep all night.
Nice.
So
Good kitty.
Well, the one
now that
we
they're
stayed
old,
with-
they're very good kitties.
The
Not when they were
one we
young.
stayed with was 10 years old, and still very active at night.
That's their natural state.
Yeah.
But I've got the lump over here who's he just sleeps and eats basically. So,
Needless to say, I didn't get much sleep.
Well, everybody will want to stay tuned into next week's episode because
yes.
Yeah.
more of this regression will unravel. You because I was curious about, okay, so if you sign up for this program and you go somewhere else, then how are people not missing you
Right.
here in the here and now?
Right.
Yeah.
We get some of
Yeah.
those questions
Yeah.
Oh, good.
answered. So everybody
Yeah.
be sure to tune in next week too.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Can't wait.
Everybody have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
Bye.
Love you all.
Yeah.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.